How goes it? Ah, welcome to Friday night paint-along. Yes, they are on. Yes, they are on. Yes. Switch the speaker off the main computer so we don't have lots of echoey echoes. Well, happy Valentine's Day. I guess if you're here, you're not having a romantic evening out. So we're not going to get all gushy on here tonight. We're going to. Ahoy, Ben. How are we doing? So tonight we are painting MPK9 front rank miniatures from Gripping Beast, Henry V, I know, Earl of Oxford, John Cheyney, a servant with palfrey. Evening, how are we doing? Okay, so that's the code for this one. I believe it's still the same price. Being a front rank, you don't get the base. I've sorted out a base. I'm going to make this into like a little very romantic Lego, the bricks of love. The building bricks of romance. Good evening, Mr. Miniature Painter, sir. And they said romance is dead. Hey, Ben. I can't. Yes. So, what we're going to do, I've set the camera at a different angle tonight so you can watch what I'm doing with the wet palette and stuff. Because usually I've got it at a different angle. And since I'm going through a bit of a phase at the moment, trying different things on the videos, I thought, I know, I'd treat them to a different angle. So, if at any point you think I should change it at all, just give us a shout and we change it. But we'll see how we go on. I think you should see enough. Okay, let's have a quick look at the miniatures. As ever, I've indicated these with Vallejo through the airbrush, a Vallejo black with a grey over the top Zenithal. There's Palfrey, Orsi. There's this friendly, helpful chap holding his hat. There's Nibs himself, Henry V. This is the Earl of Oxford, isn't it? Earl? Lord? Earl? Have I just given her a promotion? Yeah. I think is that the Earl of Oxford? I can't remember. One of them's, yeah. And this is definitely the servant. Okay, what I'm going to do is, on the Gripping Beast website, there is some cracking painted ones. I didn't paint those ones. But I'm going to use them as a painting guide. So we're going to get close to them. So, as you probably noticed from the title, if you saw it, I've put part 1 on this. So I don't expect to get this finished tonight. We're just going to take it easy. Rather than doing our usual blast through, I'm going to take my time with these ones because they're going to be probably put onto one base as a sort of command display thing, rather than just a straight out saga. I decided, yeah, I might do it as a saga thing and have little separate bases. What they've done on the website, they've put these on all different size saga bases, and the horse on a horse base that can move it all around. I just thought it'd be fun to have it on one base, which is going to be slightly bigger than a warlord base, but we shall see. Okay, let's crack on. Enough chat. Right, we're going to start with Moonstone Skin. Ahoy, Rich. That's all right, shit, mate. If you're going to get all piratey, now's the time. As you saw, Rich, we're at a different angle tonight. And I'm still slightly... Let's... So, put plenty of medium into the flesh. Just give us a good layer of that. Ah. So, Ben, have you stuck any of them? Is it just swearing, or have you stuck any to yourself yet? Keep us informed. There should be a special code word for Ben gluing himself to his own models. Ah. Good work. Yeah, I've put the camera in a slightly different place and I'm really sideways on at the moment, so my apologies if I go off camera and I can't see the screen for your comments, so I'll have to keep checking. So if I don't respond straight away, I'm not ignoring you, it's I can't see the comment. But I had the camera set up across the room last to do the kind of unboxing thing. So there we go. We keep that, we give it a nice solid base coat there. But I've kept the medium going in. That kind of, Ben, if you're sticking wheelchair, it kind of turns you into sort of a Transformer cosplayer, doesn't it? I don't know. Who can tell? Oh, I was going to do his hands then. There's not much flesh to do on these guys. Let's be giving them a nice solid base. We can work up from that. That's the maybe, Ben. They may be the biggest producer of tyres in the world, but it doesn't mean you've got to glue them to your fingers. Although, I suppose it's better than gluing a real tyre to your fingers. As you see, the medium is really helping that paint to flow on. Hope you can see the palette all right. Okay. Let's get a bit behind his ears. All hail the great Cthulhu. Yes, so as you've probably noticed by now, there's a few new videos going up of on here and Pirate Rich Plays of kind of unboxing. So I'll get another one done in the week. So I've got some more Griffin Beast stuff to do unboxing for. Also, I've got some other things to do on Pirate Rich Plays if you haven't checked that out. As I said, sticking with let's get one of my crappy brushes out and get some of that silver down. Yeah, so sticking with Age of Chivalry at the moment. I think I've got the 4-point foot start set, the 100 Years War one, and 2 points of archers. So, but I'll do a video of opening it all up. It'll be the next mission after we do this. I don't really need any gunmetal on that one. It's doing the same balls on the screen up there, and that'd be groovy. So this, obviously he's going to have his surcoat, it's going to be very bright. So the metallic I put into this palette, because you don't want to put metallic onto a wet palette, because it's not good. So grab my medium, just a brush full, just into the top of the gunmetal there, just to let it helps it flow off the brush. That's what we want. We want it nice. Metallic's very thick. I mean, these Fanatic paints are very thick anyway, so you really want to use some medium of it. They do little pop. I found the War Paints medium earlier, tried it against the one I make, and it's pretty goddamn similar. So if you don't want to mix it up yourself and you want small pots of it, it's very good stuff. But it's all about keeping snoring and farting. Yeah. I've got a bit of chainmail. I've been under this surcoat there. So that just dropping that bit of medium as well will help the paint get into the chainmail. Which is neat. So what have I been up to this week? A couple of commissions finished off and posted off. And then got another one just starting. Another 30 Years War one. It's all good fun. What else have I run this week? I had a game of Rumble Slam earlier in the week. good. That's it, really. Yeah. Was that cool with the 30-year war ones or the? Yeah, I'm not sure who these ones are. I can't remember. He did tell me. But yeah, that's all good fun. So what we do with this is we're going to get the gunmetal down so it can start drying. Then we're going to do our usual black wash over the top, so a dark tone. So I'm hoping to get as much of these done as I can. So the next video we can do the fancy pants bits, you know what I mean? Because I don't often get to do those in video, which is I think people like to watch it a bit like watching a car crash, isn't it? Watching somebody do freehand. I go all quiet because I've got to concentrate, and then everyone else is fingers crossed he messes that up. Then you have a real train wreck on camera. Be a bit like Ben doing a modelling video and waiting for him to glue it to himself. Right. So next, I'm going to do helmet dude next. So yeah. So it seems to be the in thing at the moment, the age of chivalry. I think this guy's just got a straight arm. He's, I think, got a surcoat on. Oh, the dog's licking his feet. It sounds like I've got a large slavering troll in the room. Swamp troll. That looks like a surcoat to me. I'm going to have to check that, I think. It's got a coat of arms, even though it's painted silver. I think it's painted silver on the website. To me, it looks like he's got a surcoat on. Where is Dr. Bob when you need him, eh? Yeah, just letting that. See, as I've thinned it a little bit, it's sort of sitting nicely into the detail, which is cool. It might be just a breastplate. To me, it looks like on the picture on the line, it's just painted silver. So I'm just going to paint it as gunmetal, and then at a later date, I can always go over the top. Quickly paint it white, and then do the livery you need. But if I don't do it now, and it kind of look odd. So rather than stop and fiddle around with the computer for a bit, I shall just crack on. So what we got? We got Ben's gluing. Anyone else doing anything? Well, that's a dangerous one to ask at the moment. Anyone doing any hobbying? It's been hard this week. The temperatures mucking around with the painting. Either your hands getting cold, or the paints are taking longer to dry. And if I was painting these quick, in fairness, and I wasn't worried about top end making them look cool, you could, if you really want to paint them really quick, is instead of a Zenithal highlight, it's just base coat them in the silver, paint over the top. But you can do that with this whole army if you wanted to really crack them through. Nice. Good work, Cubes. Yeah, my missus wants when we're packing miniatures off to send them back to people. My missus is finally said, oh, I help. She was always worried about not packing them right because I'm really fussy. So we've done a so she can have a go at practice packaging. I put some bits on eBay it so she can pack some up. So yeah, if you want some bargains, there's some 99p start stuff on eBay at the moment just to get my missus to pack it for you. Unfortunately, we're only doing UK at the moment because eBay's got a bit weird. Yes. Keep the ship's wench busy. So we're just hitting these little bits of chainmail going around the top of his, well, coming around the bottom of his plate there. Again, it doesn't really matter that a lot of this we're going to have to do a lot of gold over the top, but that gold goes right over the top of this silver, actually quite, sorry, gunmetal, really quite nicely. So I don't really mind it. Usually I'd avoid stuff, but yeah, well done for, I presume it was Lord S that was advertising this tonight, and he's going all Shakespeare on us, which is all. I was actually picturing him after I read it. I could quite picture him walking around Beast Towers, misquoting Shakespeare everywhere. Sorry, did I say miss? I mean quoting, improving Shakespeare, Lord S style. I shall have to ask Beasties. It did make me chuckle. I believe they're sword pointing this weekend, so. I'll try and pop up and do a quick nose around in a video. Martin's awesome at that. I think last time I did it to him, it was do a quick video, Martin, and I just stuffed the camera in his face, and he was just unfazed by it whatsoever, just like he was reading from a script. It was awesome. Okay, so that's the gunmetal done on him. I don't think there's any gunmetal on the horse. I'll do the horse, maybe a. They've done a very white horse, but they've hidden it in the background. Oh, I'm not very keen on pure white horses. I think where they've not got a lot of flesh, we're just going to do a little cheaty bit. We're going to do a Crusader skin. I'm going to highlight that from there. So a little bit of that in the palette. Speed paint to Crusader flesh. We'll just use that as a wash. Hopefully they'll bring back the old flesh wash now, because I believe in the John Blanche set there's a flesh wash that's based more like the old one. The new one's got a very dark brown look to it. I'm not so keen on that one. But the old flesh wash is more like this one. It's a weird decision, really. They dropped that one and the mid brown, which is a very similar one as well. Just bung that in there. Give us a nice dark base to work from. Okie dokie. Right, some reds now. So we're going to start with Basilisk red. It's a purpley based one. We're going to go and pick out all the base colours red. So this guy's got red trews. I'm just adding a bit of medium and stretching that out. We'll work for a bit later and then find a good break point. And maybe get this done. These ones done in 2 sessions or something. Maybe. See how it goes. Be really cool if we can get the most of the base colour down. Just leave the free hand, that'd be cool. As you see, it seems that the thinner you kind of, it's really weird. This you thin it out with the medium, and its coverage seems to get better. It's magic. Okay. So his nibs has got just lay this down. And this is just the base of this, so it will, even though it looks a bit weird for a base of a red, it's what we're going to be working up from. he's quartered as reds, isn't he? So okay. Tip where it's still that medium in it, it's going to get a lot of coverage out of that. If we start being a bit neat, because obviously this is going to be the base for us to work over for the heraldry. Yep. Nice and gentle, just using the tip of my brush. Make it nice and neat. Is that zoomed in enough for everyone? It's not our usual angle, so I thought it'd just be a bit different. It's usually zoom right in. Oh, yeah, so what's saying is talking age or magic, won't we? So after we do these ones, we're going to start doing the warband. I've been sent 4-point foot. So probably do. I don't know if it's 100 years. What I haven't checked. I was going to check earlier. Derp. He's got red. These are kind of red with some blue in them. So what we do is we get a nice base of red, and then we can do some of the blue and gold. And that's supposed to be going all the way around the back there. I think it is now. And that's all the red we need, I think. Or the base red. So you got the buzzy off the phone, I thought I'd switch the buzz off, but obviously I have not. At least I switched the sound off. I was, used to forget to do that all the time and blow people's eardrums out. Okay, a bit more medium. It's good on the medium on the wet palette, just helps it ease out a little bit more. Okay, so we're quartered again. So just pick your spot and using the point of that triangle there. That's kind of a waist there. We're going to go across there. That's cool. Also here, leather work is red, so we're going to So, Yog. Bit of a loss tonight. What should we talk about, guys? I think there's so many big areas of one colour, it gives you plenty of time to chat. Just be nice and careful, get this red base colour in. Yeah. Flip him over, do the same again. Halfway point. You do a couple of air strokes to get yourself nice, straight, get your hand going where you want it to before you put the brush down. You know that belt's going to be red, so just boosh that on. If the paint's right, if the medium's right, then that, so the red squares to the left. There you go. Yeah, don't stick yourself to the computer, Ben. You might be that it might be that means that sort of simulate. You might be like the Borg eventually. Simulate yourself to your own. on dialect. Nice. Well, I suppose it's a commitment, I suppose. Okay. And the GG's, all its level work is red. So we're gonna do this base now. Then we're gonna deal with the base color of the horsey horse. Ahoy! How goes it? How's it in Arizona? Just laying down some base colors for our red at the moment. Jesus, Basilisk red, which is like a purpley mauve. For our friends just joined, and if you didn't see the title, where's the packet? There we go. 22 degrees. Oh man. Bloody hell. We dream of it, mate. Come to sunny Swindon. I think we hit 4 degrees today, 4 or 5. MPK9 Henry V. The Earl of Oxford, John Cheyney, and servant with palfrey. There we go. Yeah, we've had sleep today. No, none of this posh snow stuff, Ben. We got proper mucky, dirty sleep. And it's very cold when I took the dog out to look at the swans at the local lake. And how do they swim around in the cold? I don't get it. Why do they not freeze their birdie bits off? Well, it's not quite the same way as they swim around in the heat, is it? Well, I suppose technically it is. I should imagine so. Soothing tones. I got you, Ben. But one's going to be a relaxed it's nice and warm. Let's float around because it's nice and warm day. And another one's going to be bloody hell. My parts are freezing off. What? I don't know. Yes, fairly warm. Yeah, I was trying to remember. We had that heat wave over here, didn't we? Sort of the end of COVID, where it hadn't rained for quite a long time and it got quite warm. I was trying to remember what the daytime temperatures were. That's pretty impressive. I managed to sleep through my wife and the dog snoring, which combined is similar to an earthquake. Luckily, she doesn't watch my video and is out of earshot, and the dog don't care, as you can hear, because he's snoring at the moment. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, I can see that, Ben. Yeah, -37. Yeah, I had the pleasure of working in a blast freezer for a bit. And that was those sort of temperatures, and you had special gear so you didn't get frostbite, and special rules about coming out every hour for 15 minutes or something stupid. I can't remember. But yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's quite tricky, isn't it? When different extremes in temperature really affects the paint, how, you know, affects your paint sort of work process, isn't it? So I like it when it's just temperature's just right. So you do your spray, and you can pretty much paint on it straight away. Whereas at the moment you got sort of, if you get the old hair dryer out on it. Yeah, I bet. I bet you have to top it up all the time, don't you? Because I mean, when I've had the heater on today, so as I've been painting, so yeah, it dries the wet palette out quite quickly. But certainly, in the summer, it is a bit of an issue, isn't it? Do you find your paint pots sort of pressurise as well? So when you open the pots and they want to jump out, sort of like a cheap, the bit in Ghostbusters where all the eggs pop out. That's all I could think of then. Right, so that's we're painting the whole set at once. We're going to get a lot of that, so I'll do all one colour. Yeah, rattle cans love heat, don't they? Well, you got to watch out that you don't get any. You get the distance away right, haven't you? Because otherwise you can spray and it's dry before it hits, and you get that little dry sort of pebbling, especially white, isn't it? White and grey. Black's not too bad. Yarg. Right. Where are we now? So let's do. Let's start laying down the blues. Yeah, it's a problem with the GW paint. I don't. I quite like pots. I'm not averse to pots, even though I use the army painter stuff. Yeah. I always used to mix the. I was different if you against the heat, but I used to find using the top of the pot and putting the medium into it as I went along actually kept them quite wet. But I can see the temperature you're dealing with. It's a whole different ball game, isn't it? Alright, let's use the Imperial now. This is more the Royal Blues. Very deep blue, vivid blues. I saw a video of one guy swapping all the GW paints he owned into dropper bowls and carefully peeling off all the labels and stuff. What a labour of love that was. Again, in there with the medium. If you don't like the dip in the brush in, you can always just put. I've got like a dropper bowl there. You can always just do a drop. Yeah, it's true. Do you use paint retarder as well in yours, where it's dries it quick? Does paint retarder help with the heat? I just wonder whether I use you can mix what you want when you're doing your own mediums. I usually drop flow improver in it as well. But I was thinking, well, you could also use retarder in it as well. Ah, right, okay. Do you find the air conditioning dries it out as well? So when we go practice, our practice room for the band's got air conditioning. I have to switch it off because I find it dries me out when I'm singing. Just wonder if it. I know I'm not paint in particular, but so just give a nice straight line down there. Just give it a nice base. Yeah, it'd be horrendously brave to paint outside, wouldn't you? Well, over here, if I painted outside, everything would be like completely watered out all the time. So just basically watering this down, make it nice and thin. Got nice control of it on the end of our brush. Dog snoring. Oh, he's right having a go tonight, isn't he? We do the band at the moment we do like rock covers, sort of um, classic rock, uh, Hendrix and Cream, and all the way through to um, Clash um, and snoring billies. Yeah. Just laying that up nicely. Oh, blimey. I'm going to play the bass on that too, so. Floyd, bit of Ozzy, real mixture. Of course, when the dog's not snoring. go. So that's basic of our blue laid down. Yeah, that's all cool. So we're just going on nice and thin now with that medium, so the thinner the better, because we're going to layer it up so you don't want to lose any detail. Yes, this month, I said this earlier, but we'll go over it again. So I only got halfway through the conversation. So as people would notice, I've been starting to do some different videos. So the rest of the month, I'm going to be concentrating on the age of magic. Not age of chivalry, sorry, age of magic. And then sort of halfway, we haven't worked out the exact dates yet. I've got to speak more with the beasties. We're going to have a swap over date, and I'm going to go on to doing some that's gold strap in that one. Yeah, so after the oh wow, but that's amazing. I love it when guys do something different, and it's sort of, what's the ones I liked? Oh, what are they called? Hasty Dixie. Bluegrass. AC/DC covers. Awesome. So we'll leave his band, because his band's got blue in it, but we're going to leave that. So we're not going to rush into these. Okay, I think I'll do his horse as... I'm supposed to better do a white horse, really. We're starting from a grey. We're going to start with worn stone, which is a pale olive grey. I don't know. Oh, I'll have a look at them later then. Undecided about the horse at the moment. Always find white horses a little bit unrealistic looking, a bit boring in miniature scale. What we're going to do, we're going to do a white one, but we'll do it from a very light grey base. But we're going to start with, after he says that, we're going to start with a very dark grey. And what we're going to do, and get my brush that hasn't got any point on it, and I'm going to chuck a couple of drops of medium onto there. And we're going to turn this grey into like a really, really thin wash. Always wash your brush out before you go back in, because you'll be carrying loads of pigment in the thing. So as you can see on my thumbnail, yeah, I hate painting on my thumb. So I'm going to keep that nice and thin. Because we don't want it covering much of that at all. We're just going to take the light bits down a little bit. Keep that medium going in there. So this is going to sit into the valleys rather than the peaks. So we're going to kind of do it as a grey, but we're going to take it very light. I got through halfway through my conversation again, didn't I, about the age of chivalry. Yeah, so I'll try, when will I do the video? I'll do the unboxing video at some point this week of what we're going to paint next on that. And then when I've spoken to the beasties and got exact dates of what else will proceed, I'm going to try and do announce kind of the following months paint-alongs a bit earlier. So if anyone wants to get the same ones and play along, that'll be groovy. And I know the next one we've decided on, I can tell you, is going to be jugular, because that's getting a lot of love at the moment. I know at conventions I've had a lot of people look at the jugular miniatures that I've been selling as well. So I thought, I know, we do an unboxing, we do a paint along, and we do a demo game. So that's the plan for, it's probably not next, maybe next month or the month after. But Beastie said they'd put it on their newsletter as well. So if you go to their, if you haven't already, if you go to their website and subscribe to their newsletter, I'll get them to do a what's Pirate Rich up to kind of thing. I was trying to talk them into a special offer code as well. So that's why I'm keeping quiet on the actual release date, because I haven't really managed to negotiate that one yet. But I've got all the jugular stuff here. My favourite gladiator miniatures on the market there. There we go. So we just got a really light, thin grey base on that one. No one else has got anything grey, so that's cool. Oh, somebody's got some white, so let's do his coat with it as well. Within this grey is it's gonna get into all our valleys, and it's just going to darken them down. So then it's going to give us a template of where we can do our highlights to start picking the white out. There we go. Nice. Yeah, I've been painting horses all day. I've been painting the Swedish 30-year war ones from Tag, I think now. All right, some 3D. I picked up some 3D stuff from Temu. That's another video on the Pirate Rich Plays. Not sure where the painter one's got. Where's he gone? I don't know, he's gone now. I picked a little dragon up as well from Temu, little 3D printed one. I think it was a £5. He's going to be an interesting little paint. Oh, there's the. That was another 3D one that was painted up. I think he was £3.90 or something. Crazy stuff. Oh, I'm surrounded by dragon. This is the dragon's den. Okay. Let's get some more work done. Right, now they're all dry. Now we can put the black wash on. Now it says no oil, but I don't think there's much no oil left in there now. It's mostly dark tone. This is one of those times I think a pot works better for me. So it's got the dark tone in there, some known oil, it's probably still in there, and my medium, and some black ink. So it's a real mixture in there. I'm just gonna. Well, there was an even crappier brush than this. Let's use that one. Always use your rubbish brushes for washes, because it gets up in the inner part of your brush, and it just, once it's in there, you will never get it out, and it mucks your brush up. So if you've got some nice brushes, buy some cheapies to do this with. Let's see. I'm just going to give the gunmetal a good coating of this. I want all that gunmetal to go that dull, kind of more 1700s steel, that black. Because then we're going to pick the bits we want to go shiny in a bit. And when we do the gold bits, it will look. We'll have a bigger contrast. This is where we're going to get the bang for our buck out of. building this up a bit. It's my favourite thing to do with chainmail. Oh, blimey. Just make sure you go around the miniature and there's no big pools of it sitting anywhere. Make sure we got all the, it's nice and juicy. I was going to say, do you print your own stuff? That's pretty impressive. How big's that sort of galleon? Well, I don't do the printing. So I get people send me printed stuff. Say, can you paint this? And the biggest I've painted, somebody wanted a bust of Deadpool painting. That was quite fun. That dog is flying like mad. I hope he's doing it that one. Wow. I have a problem with when something stops being a miniature. You know what I mean? I've just painted a Murmur-kill for somebody, the old Lord of the Rings Middle-earth strategy. And fun though it is to paint, I'm not sure it's a miniature. It's like some of the dragons I've got the Reaper Bones Maldraka, the Takesis, whatever it is. What's her name? Tiamat. And allegedly. And I'm just not sure it's a miniature. It's huge. Yeah, my brother-in-law does the FDM printing. Although they're getting very good, aren't they? So let me show you some buildings they've done with FDM printing, and it wasn't far off the resin. I'm just going around it, making sure I've got plenty of it. Oh, he's looking at the snizzes. No, I should. I've been asked that a lot. I should really, shouldn't I? I don't really play at being a pirate. I am a pirate. I don't know what. I don't really get time to play regularly with anything at the moment. That was the whole idea of me setting up the second channel, so I've got an excuse to stop painting and play with some of the toys I paint. Oh, okay. I did. I've painted some miniatures for Silver Bayonet. That's when I've painted miniatures for loads and loads of games. I think, oh, well, I'm going to get some of those. And a lot of the time I end up getting the miniatures, painting them, and then they either sit in a box on the shelf because I've had no time to play them. Or I like that Silver Bayonet. There's every so often the game catches your fancy. You think, oh, I love that. What's another one? Empire of the Dead. West End game. West End. Yeah, West End Productions, isn't it? No, West Wind. I keep calling it West End. West Wind Productions. I love it. I just love the miniatures to it. The game I thought was good. I wouldn't say it was the best set of rules I've ever played, but I think they're work for what it is. And we played a few games of it, and I got all the miniatures, painted them all, and it goes in the box. Quite often I'd get a box and paint it out. On my shelf at the moment, I could do all sorts. So that was half of it is to get out there and start playing stuff. Okay, let's put the next layer of red on. Got red on you. We're going to go Woven Fury. We're going to work up the reds, which is a deep purplish red. A bit of a shake. I kind of always screw it right at the end of the next one, so you start. If you want to start mixing, you can. We'll just put that back across. Put a bit of medium in it. We're going to start peak and drop. Peak and value, isn't it? So we're looking for just leaving that original one just in the shadowed area, so around the bottom of his cloaky thing there. We're not going to go right up underneath that, and sort of around the bottom of his knee. But we're going to cover quite a bit of that. We're not going to go right up under there, because it's all, you can see where the shadow's starting to fall from my light. Okay, I'm going to start just shy of going into the crease of the back of his knee. Go on the shin, and we're not going to go right into his boot either. There's too shadow in there. So if you compare the legs now, that you can see where I've been, because that's going to be wet. That's not a bad name for a band. Okay, so when you come down the front of his thigh, not going into the shadowy areas, shape his knee in, go all the way around, use the crease of his knee, stop coming down. Then we're going to use the back of his calf. Leave that original purple just in the deepest areas, deepest valleys. There we go. worry about shaping it or anything at the moment because this is just the second layer. Okay, so down his scabbard. So we start just below where the lip of it is there, and we're going to go all the way down from that angle. So we're going to go across the top there, take it down the side. The whole front area is going to get it. And then when we get to this back piece, we're going to go about a third of the way across. I'm going to do that very dark on the back, and unless it's a little bit there. Okay. Then this front piece, these top straps. Okay, you're going to start from the outside edge. Just leave that very narrow bit around where it touches against the armor. So I'm going to go all the way around. Remember, this is our first highlight. I just want to leave a little hint of it on that inside edge. Only on the inside edge because the armor that's there will cast a shadow around itself. Avoid it be the other way around it. So the top of his armor here. So top of his chest coming down. As the curve comes in, as it goes round the curve and round the armor there, it's going to be shadowed. So we're going to leave the original purple. That bottom edge is going to be very dark. There we go. As you can see, it's quite wet, so we've got plenty of medium in there. We just move it around. So when you take your brush off is where you leave the pool of paint, so you can kind of move it around. So it's almost like you dot it around a little bit. See if we can get it close enough so you can see what I mean. So I don't want to go into that dip around his waistline because that's going to be shadow. So I'm going to go just under that. And I'm going to come right up the edge of the blue. There we go. And this bottom edge. I'm not going to go under that belt, but we're going to go. So we're going to start this, the pointy bits of these, and work back up. I don't want this paint touching against that belt. I'm not too worried about. I've thinned it anyway, so some of the original colour will show through. Put more medium in there. Just working with the tip of the brush. Again, we've got that edge there with the metal, so we're going to start a little sort of a brush thickness underneath it. I'm going to work down. I'm going to follow the shape of it. As it goes up there, that edge will catch the light. Then we're going to work down from that until you past the point of where there's a bend in it, you know what I mean? It's where his shoulder blade is. Then after that's going to be dark again. But remembering that this is only the first highlight, so I'm going to shape the bottom edge a little bit with this. I'm not going to go right beneath his armpit, so I want that original dark colour in there. A bit more medium in there. Pour some paint towards your puddle. Okay, so I don't want it on his waistline, so I'm going to come away from it, paint myself across, then work it down. And I won't go into his hand there. There we go. And then on these triangle bits, I'm going to start at the point of them and work up, but I'm not going to go right up underneath the belt. There we go. Same thing with this red on this helm there. I don't want to go right up underneath that edge because you can see the shadow of my light's thrown already. Gives me a good hint of where I've got to leave alone. And right up against his body there, I'm not going to touch. And here I'm going for the peaks first. Across the top of the peaks. But I'm not going right up underneath that helm because it's very dark in there. And then at the bottom I'm going to go into the valleys. But I'm going to leave the purpley bit higher up. So I've got about a third of the way of that up. And then again it'll be very dark in there, so I'm just going to do that bit at the bottom there. And then same again. Bit more medium on my brush, make sure it's nice and wet. Pick up some paint, load it up. I'm not sure, just check it on the palette, just paint a nice, just paint a nice line, see if it's pulling nice lines. Just pulling nice lines, it's working. If not, put a bit more medium in it. If it's too weak, just blushing everywhere, go the other way, but add some more paint. So again, we're not going to go right up and tight to that chainmail, but we're going to calm down. There we go. That wasn't for me. Relax. So we're going to pick a little bit on the edge of that handle there. And then on his belt, I'm going to come from the top edge. Top edge. And I've kind of left the bottom bit purple of that belt. And get in there. There we go. Again, a little bit more medium in there. And I'm going to start this bottom bit. So we're going to start again from the points, working upwards. We're going to leave a bit underneath his belt, or shadowy. As we go there, not right up into the chainmail, just round the bottom edge of it. Not go up underneath his armpit, so that'll be shadowy. Then we're going to work all the way down, leaving the odd bit. There we go. Looks like there's a slight crease in the sculpting there, which is cool. If you see stuff like that, use it. Okay, that belt. We're going to aim for that top edge. Just let it paint. Maybe looking for half way down the belt, as it were. We're not going to go right into the belt. We're going to leave a little gap. Bit medium. I'm going to work from the point up again. I'm just going to put a bit there just to straighten it out with that. Paint up from that triangle, not going underneath that edge where that belt is. There we go. Good. The horsey. Bit more medium. So is it clinch? I don't know. The belly strap. We're not going to go up under the saddle there. we're going to start just away from it, and we're going to go quite width of it. Then as we start getting underneath it, we're going to stop. So we're going to leave that purpley bit right underneath. Okay, on the saddle, that bit there, catching all the lights, that's going to be solid. And it's going to come down. We're not going to go right up against that rein. And we're going to come down the edge of the saddle, but we're not going to go around the edge, kind of round the corner, if you know what I mean. That bit there would stay purple because there's a kink in it. So we can go quite hefty with this one because it's the first highlight, so you don't want to make your area too small, otherwise you'll have nothing to work the next highlight in. You just end up keep painting over the same piece. But that top piece is in full daylight, so go straight across that. Anything that's completely zenithal is going to be the brightest area of that colour. So as we come across this back one, again we're aiming for that top corner, but we're allowing our brush to run along the edge. So if it goes a little bit towards the horse, that's fine, but we don't want to go right up against the horse. Then when it come back, again, just touching that into that edge. Not completely solid. We're leaving some of the old colour showing through. There we go. That's really not going to show up on camera, I don't think, but hey, we talked you through it. Okay, this one, you can come down the edge of the reins there. Just a little bit, that thick a bit. And you can imagine the light's catching it, so it's going to be this back edge of each of those. There's that front edge there, front edge there, front edge there. There we go. And these reins here, that's going to be from the top edge, so we don't want to go underneath where its neck is. Again, just starting a little bit away from where there's any overhang from any other detail. So this one is across that top edge. And away from the saddle, building it up from the bottom. Okay. Belly strap away from the saddle, come down the strap. As soon as it starts turning under its belly, we kind of feather it out. This one, edges, then nothing, and then some down here where it's going to pick up after the shadow. So that's going to throw a shadow onto there. So we can start down there. Then as this middle bit comes up, we can add a bit more into there because that's going to catch more of the daylight. And just a couple of dabs into that, that'll be fine. Okay, then down the top edge. This is where it's worth practicing on a piece of paper. Doing 3D lettering and numbers. It's a good way of working out, getting used to that idea of the sun throwing shadow. Wherever that 3D sits is obviously where your shadows fall in. There we go. So that's the second red, which is good. Yeah, cheers, dude. Stay cool. Oh, sorry, stay warm for you. So now we're going to go down the next blue, which is regal blue. Yeah, as you can see, there's lots of painting we're approaching there, so we knew that we weren't going to get all these done in one sitting. I didn't want to rush them because they're such nice miniatures. Okay, regal blue, we're going to add plenty of medium and do what we just done with that second red. So the top of his collar there, across the top of his chest, but away from where his jacket joins, on his shoulder there. But think where his head's throwing a shadow. But we're looking for those, starting to look for our peaks and valleys. You'll get a bit more on these jackets than you do the, you know. So across the top it'd be kind of the richest blue up there, because that's where it's got the most light falling on it. Okay, we're going to go across the shoulder there. As it comes down that line, let's turn that corner so we're starting to feather it out. We're not going to go underneath the armpit. Some peaks up here we're going to pick out. Look how quick that's drying because it's nice and thin. That's the other beauty of using nicely thinned out paint. It's going to dry quicker for you. So we're looking for those peaks and valleys. Come down those peaks. You can remember this is our first blue, so we cover up quite a bit. But we just want to make sure those real shadowy areas around his hand we don't throw any light onto. So I'm just working some of this extra blue. Okay. It's slightly stronger. Remember, we're using really thin paint, so thinned again. We start at that high point, but away from the shadow. Remember, most of this is going to be covered up with this heraldry, so but it's worth doing it because the overall effect you're going to get is going to be awesome. And we're just going for the tips of the dangly bits. None up under his armour. Remember, you start a bit further back, so we start further back again. But we're looking for any highlight areas now. Any shadowy areas, we leave that dark blue in there. Sorry, the dog is finding me very boring tonight. Bit more medium. Start from the points. Maybe start from one side. You can see which side I've gone there. I'll leave that like that. So you can always come back and put a bit more in. Okay, this dagger, we're going to get the front edge. This could be the bottom edge on his belt, because obviously the armor's going to shadow that. I'm not going to go under there because that's going to be really shadowy. This one, okay, so the light's going to come down here, so it's going to catch the front because it's quite flat onto the light. So we're going to put our brush kind of 2/3 of the way down, and we're just going to catch that top edge and then thicken it out slightly there and there, so it's, and you can feather it in. There we go. Just an odd bit of light there. That's him. I don't think he's got any blue on him. No, he's actually got yellow. I'm going to start with this yellow. You start with demigod flames. Again, it's quite an orangey yellow, so we're going to water it down quite a bit. Just let it. So I'm not going to try and. If you walk that down nicely with the lacquer with the medium, you find this yellow does cover really well. But you mustn't force it if it doesn't want to. Just let it work its thing, then let it dry, and then come back and do another layer. So otherwise you get like a real patchy look to it. We didn't go and put white underneath it because we're going to layer it up anyway, so if you want that striking yellow really quick, just drop a bit of white in there. If you're feeling brave, a bit of pink. I've not tried it over that woven purpley pink one yet. Let's give that a go. I shall try it for you. Not on this miniature, but I shall try it. Okay. So just working on the tip of the brush. Paint's nicely thinned, giving us lovely coverage. Happy days. Look at that. A bit added to that first layer, just to straighten that middle line. There we go. That's all the yellow. Okay, so next we did a grey on that. So now we're going to go I'm going to jump a couple of greys up. Actually, we're going to go to worn stone, which is an olivey grey. I'm going to get that quite loose. This is going to be quite a big jump on it. So now we're going to go just to the peaks. And let that get nice and thin. I'm just going to leave all the valleys, just the darkest shadowy bits, because this is quite a big jump, as you can see. So I'm just going to leave the deepest valleys. There we go. Just keep that medium going in. Quite strong that top piece, that's where the light's catching. As you can see already, that's starting to dry back. If it all goes a little bit too... Remember, we're going to go right up to pure white on that, so you hardly want any of that original grey showing, if you know what I mean. There's another little trick you can do as well, which is if the dark grey is still showing through too much at later stages, you can make a very thin beigey white and just do like a filter over the top, just to kind of, you don't want to leave great big lines and make it look like it's not been blended at all. Okay. And this is worn stone, so we're going to do a beige over this before we go to white anyway. What we're trying to do here is just leave that very dark grey just in the tiniest areas, really, because we're thinning this one out as well. That will show through, especially if you keep thinning it. Keep thinning that white out, working from the peak to the troughs. There we go. Bit being caught in that little groove there. Can you see how white it's gone? We're just going to blend that back out. Right, we'll leave that white there to dry for a minute, and we go play with the GG. Do exactly the same thing. We're going to really thin this out. I'm going to start where the light is the biggest. Just that top piece. But we're not going to go right back behind where that, you see where that shadow is being thrown. And we're not going to go right up against that bard in there, whatever it is. Christmas tree decoration. This one, I'm just going to run it across the top of his tail. Down the side a bit. I'm not going to do that bit at all, because it's going to be that very grey down there. Keep that medium going in. Horses are really good for practicing picking out muscle and stuff, because they've just got those nice big muscle groups. You can just go right around it, you know what I mean? But you see I'm really thinning that grey out now. Only where it puddles up too much, just go and wick it away. So there's hardly any paint in that at all. Especially where you're working with grey, because it's a good way to actually make the dappling work, is to actually thin it right down. So anything that kind of looks like a mistake at the moment could end up being one of those happy little accidents. And you end up with a nice bit of dappling. I'll be taking this up past the grey stage to see there. I've just looked at that a lot, and then it run round underneath his belly there, so I just picked the paint up on the edge of the brush where my brush was still wet. I was able to move that about. Once it starts to dry there, you can't do it, you just tear it up then. Still using that very loose paint. Yeah, it's like a watercolour. Watercolour technique. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll either do a follow-on live video, or do some quick tutorials on these guys to move them along a bit, or I might even just move them along a bit if I get a chance. So our next video will be all about painting the heraldry on and stuff. The juicy bit. Just let the side of the brush just flick over its mane there. I'm just letting it build up slowly. Slowly let that build up, the better blend we can end up with. Okay, just move that around. That's the first time I've had not enough medium in it. Can you see how it's really, really strong? Just zip it with a bit of, go in there with not much in your brush. Just move it about before it dries. As soon as it dries, you can't really do anything with it. Just turning, this is just starting to turn the grey areas into white, because that worn stone's a very light grey. It's one below beige, so. So what I'll probably do is let that dry out completely, then go back in with the same colour again. And then you're well on the way to move into beige then. So another way to do it is to do your whites and then do a really loose grey wash over the top. But you end up with a very dirty white then. In fairness, it's quicker, but you will get a better finish this way. There we go. You see it's starting to just change colour a little bit now. Yeah, they're good. That's on the, yeah. It's a lovely colour to work with, especially when you. That was two hour. That was two. We're on 2:08 at the moment, so that grey work was 2, roughly. It does water down really nice. It's hard to show up on here. You see it's not quite dry there. But when you start going back over it, goes strong quite quick. And I've done his cloak with it as well. Okay, so what next? We're not doing too bad. 2 hours in there. We got quite a bit of progress on those. Quite happy with that. Let's do another layer of reds with it. At least before the end of the evening, the red will look red rather than purple. We're going to go to dragon red, which is the 3rd up in the triad. We're calling 6 paints a triad, isn't it? Okay. We're going to scoop our medium on board. As we've done with the others, we're going to ignore the shadowy bits. Now we're going to our true highlights. So we're going to go across the front of his leg there. We're going to start shaping them. A bit on his and anywhere where there's peaks we're going to hit. Anywhere where there's valleys we're going to leave, and anywhere where there's shadows we're going to leave. And we're going to stay inside our other colour. All these things, remember it. But as long as you keep that nice and thin, your blends will be nice and smooth. So down the front of his shin there. On the edge of his calf. Not going down into his boot. Top part of his calf. Starting to shape that nice and round. Just Just work around it. Anywhere you think should be brighter, brighten up a bit. Anywhere you think the shadow should be dark, just leave it. You can always come back in. But if you go over it and it's too dark, you've stolen that piece of paint from yourself, if you know what I mean. So let's start on that calf. So I've been careful so far and not sort of hit anywhere where I shouldn't. So don't rush it. This is a bit different to how we usually paint on this channel. We usually, let's see how quickly we can paint this. This is the leader. This is Henry V. This is the one that people are going to pick up when you're wargaming, going, oh, he's nice, can I have a look? Yep. You certainly can. Pick him up and have a look. Okay, so a bit more medium in there. Just keep it flowing. I'm looking for the highlights there. Is that top piece that's going to catch all the light. And around the back, just work it out to the edge. Okay. So on his chest, that top piece. Not going right up under the armour because there's shadow. Not going up to the edge of the blue because we want that darker colour there. There we go. We see that. Just about see where it's wet still there. So it's kind of an inner panel I've painted there. Again, same here. We're going to paint not up to that crease, not up to the centre join. Not quite touched down on the belt. There we go. It looks more than it is at the moment because this paint's thin, so it's going to show that bottom. It's going to show the colour we've already painted through as well. So now we're just looking, the tips are there really. An occasional one just jutting up a little bit. Just there. Okay, another sword. Okay, we're going to be catching. I'm just going to line down with it. I'm painting very thin lines. Not every one of those touch down, then I'm sort of picking where it's touching. Just keeping my hand moving like that, and then just touch down and just let it take certain areas into red. That I'm not going to leave it. Again, here I'm going to come underneath where the armor is. Not going right up the edges. Stay inside the other colours I've used. There's a little crease there I can really accentuate. There, I'm not going to go right up into that crease. There we go. We'll start at the bottom. Just paint at one side of it. A little bit down the middle. There we go. That's cool. Starting to turn red now. So on his helm, a bit more medium. Just making sure it doesn't go underneath that shadowy bit. That edge is going to pick the light up. These peaks on there are going to a little bit on the edge. Peaks, edge, but none underneath. Underneath that shadowy bit, I've really got all shadowy. Then a bit around the edge of that. some of these little ridges out, but just in a line. Just going to go down the line so it's catching the light, and then up here we're going to, that's too strong, a bit more medium. Kind of, it's like I'm painting little tiny lines, as you can see, so the brush isn't touching down every time. Just picking where I'm letting the paint strengthen up. And across the top of this belt, I'm looking just to paint that kind of top edge of that. Okay. And around here, that top edge. Go underneath where his shadowy bits are. This will be the bottom edge, catching a bit of light. And on the back, this belt on the back is going to catch a little bit of light on the top, and then when it changes there, it's actually going to catch it on the bottom. Strangely enough, because of the way his back shape. Going to come down underneath the chainmail there, leaving it that purple, not quite going into the middle. There we go. And the belt throws a bit of shadow there, not going into the middle. And then bottom edge, these triangles, maybe the odd edge coming up, just enough to change it from purple to red. Okay, just strengthen the belt up a bit there. Now, Orsi, medium into that. So that top edge where the shadow is, those corners across the top there, it's going to be almost pure red. As we turn, it doesn't. And then we're going to come down the edge. And paint little lines again, little strokes. A bit like pencil shading, really. Just keep that medium coming in. The belly one there is just that little bit there, because the rest of it's going to be dark. And this one around here, it's going to be that top edge. It's going to be red. And the bottom corners. Yeah, it's very similar, like pencil shading. Your brush is hardly touching down. That's because the paint's very thin. So it's just moving the paint around to where you want it. It's almost, if you're putting the paint down, you can see the colour changing in one stroke. It's too thick. So, yeah, just bear that in mind. Just looking at the edge there. And that edge there is going to be to the light. The other thing about painting with lines and like dotting on is it starts to build a bit of texture in the paint as well. So obviously there it's not completely one flat colour. Just across the top edge there, top edge there, a little bit in the middle. Again, still doing our little lines. Again, we're not going to go down the edge there. Not going to go up underneath the saddle, not going to go round. Just going to move that red. We're just moving the hue of the red, really, because it's still very purpley at the moment. This will just give it another nudge towards pure red. You can do this sort of thing with just using glazes, really. It's kind of what we're doing. It's just somewhere between layering and glazing, really. Because the amount of medium I've got running in there, look. That's how thin the paints are. It's more of a glaze than a paint. Especially this nice medium going on in there. I do mixed glazes up with inks and this medium as well. When there's so much pigment in these Fanatic paints, it's pretty similar actually to using the inks to mix it up with. So I think talking about glazes or washes and stuff, it gets a little bit confusing, really. We're dunking on this one, just thin your paints. You'll get enough coverage out of these bad boys. Then you just go back and work around and keep layering it up to where the red you want to get to, really. Right. I think that's probably where I'm going to leave it for tonight. And so I might, yeah, because I'll be starting to play with different colours a bit more. I can pick up from there quite easily. That's come up 2.5 hours painting. So let's have a look at what we've got. If I have a quick swiggy of my drink. So this is what we got so far. Mr. Servant Guy. They're not as complete as we usually are at this point, but we are painting 5 miniatures at once. We've got quite a lot of the heavy lifting done on this episode. As you see, it's slightly different styles to what we usually do. We usually go for a bit more pace, but then again, we're usually doing, when you're painting this kind of warlord level, I suppose, it's going to take a little bit more time, and I want these to look nice. So we'll put these on ice until next week. I'll make a quick. Yeah. I think I might do something with these. I don't know yet. We'll have to have a think about what we're going to do with these. So I'll make a note of what colours I've used so far, and then in the week I'll do another unboxing video and see where we go from there. It's a bit up in the air at the moment. Yes, but we'd definitely be doing Age of Chivalry for the foreseeable, and then moving on to Jugular. So watch your space, watch Griffin Beast as well. Yeah, they're starting to look nice and smooth. I'm really quite pleased how the paint's laying down on these. They are beautiful miniatures to paint. And well worth them. I mean, I think that little set's, I think it's £8.80. It might have gone up a little bit because I know lead went up, so there might be about a tenner now. I don't know. I'd have to double check, but it was £8.80, which is a cracking price for that little set. It's going to look real wicked. And yeah, right, I'm going to leave it there. So watch this space for stuff happening. Also watch Pirate Rich Plays, because there's stuff happening on there. Sign up for, if you haven't already, Griffin Beast's newsletter. If you go to their website and subscribe to that, because there'll be stuff, Pirate Rich paint stuff posted out on that as well. And then we'll see where this is going. It's all change a little bit. Just wanted to do some more in-depth stuff with you guys and keep it interesting, keep it changing, keep it moving. So yeah, right. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me. Have a great rest of the weekend. Ben, I hope your wife's Lego building's going all right. And you haven't glued too much stuff to yourself. And I will see you all guys soon. If you haven't subscribed, if I could trouble you to subscribe and like and stuff. If you haven't subscribed to Pirate Rich Plays yet, why not have a look at that as well? And have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys again soon. Cheers then. See you later.